So this is the question you want to be asked. What is your strength? Okay. Now, there's one really big catch, caveat with being asked this. The problem is that you may have a different perspective from the job interviewer as to what is a valid strength. This is the big question. A lot of us, we don't have any objectivity when we talk about ourselves. So if someone asks you what's your greatest strength or what are some of your strengths, we may rattle off a bunch of things that we think are strengths. But does the interviewer share that? A lot of times it'll be a no, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because as you guys are aware, when you're in a job, you have to make compromises all the time, right? Should you do something well or should you do it fast, for example, right? Those kind of contradict. The faster you do something, the less well it tends to be. The higher quality job you do. You can't see my other hand. Here we go. I don't have a lot of room here. This camera is very narrow. The higher quality of a job you do, the more you do a really good job, the slower you tend to get. So that's a trade-off right there, right? So if you go to a job interview and they say, what is your strength? And you can say, well, I'm the fastest worker that you'll ever have seen, right? Now, if you say that to somebody who's looking for a fast worker, great. But if you say that to a person that doesn't really care about speed as much as they care about doing it well, that might not be the right answer, right? And this is the big pitfall of this question. You may consider it a strength. How do you know the interviewer considers it a big strength, okay? Like a lot of things in a job interview, you're flying blind. You don't know what exactly they're looking for. You don't know their tastes. You don't know their opinions. So this is what makes this question a little bit challenging, okay? If they said, what is your biggest strength according to you? That would be a really hard question to screw up, right? But basically they're asking, what is your biggest strength that we will see as your biggest strength? That's where it gets challenging. The purpose of the job interview, okay, when it comes down to what you say, is for you to communicate to them that you have every one of the things that they're looking for. Okay? That's the purpose. Now, what are they looking for? Well, there's two things they're looking for. Some things have been stated. If you read the job ad where they advertise the job, they gave you a description of the job, they'll have given you the requirements. They said, we're looking for these things. Someone with this, someone with this, someone with this, someone with this. And there might be like 5 requirements, 10, 20, right? They've said, this is what we're looking for. So for a start, if you don't know them, you don't know their company, you don't know the types of things that they might like, right? You're flying blind. A great thing you can do to fall back on is to refer back to the requirements that they listed in the job posting. They've said, we're looking for these things. So if they ask you, what is your strength? Instead of saying something that was never mentioned in the job ad, right? You don't even know if they're aware of that, let alone looking for it. A great thing to do is to go down the list of requirements in the job ad and say like, well, my greatest strength is I have this. And isn't it coincidental how that's the first thing listed that they're looking for? And then I also have this. And that's another thing that they're looking for, that they've stated they're looking for. Okay? So you're giving them something you know they want to hear because they've stated that they're looking for that and they value it. Okay, so that's kind of the first part of this.